All right, good afternoon. Welcome to our Sergeant's Time training for the month of January. We're back on campus, as you can see. And this month, this session, we will be covering the Montgomery GI Bill Selected Reserve, also known as Chapter 1606, also known as the Reserve GI Bill. All right, so as I mentioned, we'll be covering the Montgomery GI Bill Selected Reserve, also known as Chapter 1606. I am Paul Lazzaro from the Office of Veteran Affairs, and with me today is Louis Valderrama, our program coordinator. So any questions that you have, feel free to direct them to us. We'll have our contact info provided at the end of the presentation. All right, so this is what we're going to cover in regards to the Reserve GI Bill. What it is, who's eligible, how it works, and then how to follow up if you have any questions. All right, what is this GI Bill benefit? As I said, sometimes it's called 1606, the Reserve GI Bill. Its full name is the Montgomery GI Bill Selected Reserve. Just some key points of it. Provides you with 36 months worth of benefits. That's tax-free. It comes directly to you through a direct deposit. It's based on what's called your rate of pursuit. So for an undergraduate, full-time is 12 credits. So your monthly stipend is based off how many credits out of 12 you're taking if you're an undergrad. If you're a graduate student, your school determines what full-time is, and then VA calculates based off of that. We report to VA what your particular graduate school says is full-time, and then they do the math from there. If in your enlistment contract, you have what's called a GI Bill kicker, you can receive an additional payment. Those amounts vary, and you will find more information on that in your enlistment contract. Just let us know. That way, when we submit your information to VA, we can let them know that you have a kicker to make sure that that gets properly applied to your payment. Any questions on this? All right, moving on. Who's eligible? The Montgomery GI Bill Selected Reserve is specifically for National Guardsmen and reservists. So all branches of the reserve component, and then Army Guard, Air Guard. You have to have a minimum 6-year service obligation. So usually that's what's called a 6x2 contract. You're actively drilling for 6 years, followed by 2 years on the inactive ready reserve. You have to complete your initial active duty training, so basic and AIT or tech school or boot camp, C school, depending on the branch that you're in. You have to have earned at least a high school diploma or the equivalent in the form of a GED. You have to be in good standing in your unit, so no negative disciplinary actions, you're not flagged for anything, you're meeting height and weight, you're meeting all your weapons qualification, MOS or AFSC standards. You have to be actively drilling. So obviously you can't be AWOL. You have to be attending all your prescribed drill weekends. And the only caveat to leaving the reserve or the guard and still being eligible is if you're discharged due to a disability. So if, because of military service, you've incurred an injury or a condition that leaves you with a disability, and you're rated for it by the military, and you're discharged because of it, then you can keep your 1606 when you leave. If not, 1606 ends when you stop drilling. So either when you discharge or you're retired or whatever the circumstances are you leaving the military. All right, so keep in mind, if you're out, benefit ends with that one caveat. Any questions on that? How does it work? So this is probably the more important part of the presentation today. So first thing you need to do is establish your eligibility with your unit. That's done through what's called the Notice of Basic Eligibility, also known as the NOBE, Department of Defense Form 2384-1. So this is provided by your unit. And when this form is completed, it notifies VA on their end that you are eligible for this benefit. So DoD certifies that you meet all those requirements we just covered in the previous slide. Schools used to be required to ask for the NOVI to have it on file. We no longer do ask for it. We're no longer required. This comes from VA, but you do have to have one because the generation of that form, as I said, is also sent to VA certifying that you are eligible. Next thing you need to do, once you have a NOVI and your unit, Department of Defense says you're ready to go to va.gov and apply for your benefit. That's the electronic equivalent of VA Form 22-1990, which is the application for education benefits. Don't do a paper form. Don't fax it in or anything. Go to va.gov. It's the quickest, easiest way to do it. It's submitted electronically. There's no mail to worry about. There's no delays in shipping. Get it out of the way. Also, when you go to va.gov, we'll provide you the website later. You can also find more information about the GI Bill programs, not just Chapter 1606. All right, so when you submit that application, you're going to get what's called a certificate of eligibility. VA is going to begin looking at your application, looking at the NOVI that they should have received, and determining your eligibility for benefits. That certificate of eligibility can take roughly 30 days to arrive by mail. In the meantime, because we need that proof of eligibility from you, make sure you take a screenshot of the confirmation page after you've finished applying. Until that certificate of eligibility arrives, what we call a COE, we'll accept that screenshot as a JPEG or PDF in lieu of your certificate to get your benefits started. So keep that in mind, make a note of it. I'll say it again, make sure you get a screenshot of the confirmation page of your application when you apply for your GI Bill. Once you get that, your enrollment, make sure you're enrolled in courses. You cannot be using the GI Bill, receiving payments if you're not enrolled in classes. So meet with your academic advisors, your program managers, get registered for the current or upcoming semester. Keep in mind that the GI Bill, no matter what chapter, cannot pay for courses that do not apply towards your degree plan. So, for example, you are a Bachelor's of Science in Biology major at the School of Arts and Sciences, Newark. You're taking 4 classes, 13 credits. With 3 of those credits, introduction to photography is not one of your electives, not one of your core requirements. We can only certify the other 10 credits to VA. That's all you're going to get paid for. So please meet with your academic advisors, your program managers, and make sure that all the courses you're enrolled in count towards your degree curriculum if you want to maximize the benefit. Get that full payment. Okay. Then VetCert. So we'll provide you the link for that as well at the end of the presentation. But VetCert is a Rutgers portal where you provide all of your documentation to us. We will verify it, and then you will use the portal to request enrollment certification. The reason we have you go back in and request to use the benefit is that we cannot determine if you're going to use it or not without your permission. So this is a safety check. Some schools have gotten in trouble for certifying GI Bill benefits without students knowing, billing the government thousands upon thousands of dollars. So to eliminate that, unless you go in every semester and tell us you want to use the GI Bill, we will not submit it to VA without your approval. Okay, so make that a part of your registration process. Enroll in your courses. Request enrollment certification for your GI Bill and VetCert. Make sure you get that taken care of. Any questions on that? All right. So how to follow up. If you do have questions, or if you're not receiving payments, something hasn't gone through, you're getting a letter from VA that doesn't match what you thought was submitted for you, please reach out to us. Okay? You can take your smartphones if you want to do so at this time. Go ahead and scan that QR code that's on your screen. That'll take you to our link tree. And on that link tree, you will find probably close to a couple of dozen different links and resources, including our contact information. Lewis has also put it into the Zoom chat box. Our social media pages, VetCert is on there. What we call high-touch offices, so other offices on campus that work very closely with our veteran military independent students, registrar, financial aid, student accounting. All right, so save that link tree for future reference. If you need to get a hold of us, that's the best way to do so. All right, make sure you scan that, save that link. All right, so WAVE, the Web Automated Verification of Enrollment. WAVE is an extremely pivotal part of this because without completing WAVE, as it's called, you will not get paid. So go to the website that Lewis just put into the Zoom chat. If it's your first time using this benefit, you haven't set up a password yet, your password is going to be the last 6 digits of your social security number, and log into WAVE. The purpose of WAVE is to verify your attendance. So you need to do this monthly, anywhere between the last 3 days of the month to the end of the month. Go into WAVE, verify that you attended your courses for the previous month. 3 to 5 business days later, your payment gets processed and sent to your direct deposit. Without this, you will not get paid. We get a lot of emails or phone calls from Veterans Benefits Administration, the regional processing office in Buffalo, New York, asking if a student was still enrolled for the month prior because they did not complete WAVE. It just delays your payments if you don't do it. We'll tell them that you were here, that you're still enrolled, but your payment's not going to get there on time. So don't forget to do WAVE. Set a reminder on your smartphone or on a calendar. 28th, 29th, 30th, 31st of the month. Go ahead and complete WAVE. Make sure your payment's there on time. Any questions about WAVE? What would the file number be to log in? So your file number is your social security number. Anytime that you come across a document or a form or somebody asks you for your VA file number, that's your social security number. Fun fact, probably like 40 plus years ago, maybe back into the early 70s, VA assigned you a file number that was not your social security number. They still just call it your file number after they started just using social security numbers across the board. Fun fact in case you're ever on Jeopardy. Any other questions about WAVE? Thank you, that was a good question, Brandon. All right. So, what are we taking away from this? You're welcome. Determine your eligibility, get with your unit, get your NOBI generated, all right, gather your documentation, apply. DD-214, forgot to cover that, but we will need the member 4 copy of your DD-214, also in VetCert. Get your certificate of eligibility or the screenshot of your application confirmation page. Enroll in your courses. Okay, currently we're in the spring 22 semester, but in about 2 months' time, we're going to open up priority registration for fall 22. So go ahead and meet with your academic advisors ahead of time. Get on the ball with that. Make sure you're in courses that apply towards your degree. 12 credits is full time. You want to get paid as much as you can, maximize your benefit, enroll at the full-time rate. VetCert. Upload your documentation, request enrollment certification, okay? As Lewis just said in the chat, reminders will be posted on Instagram as well, so please follow us on social media. WAVE, don't forget WAVE. Go to the website, log in, verify your attendance. There's also a phone number you can call. When you go to that main WAVE login page, there's a toll-free number that you can call, and you can go through an automated system and verify your attendance, whichever way works easier. When I used to use 1606, I found the website to be quicker than the phone, as long as you get it done. And then if you have any questions or something doesn't go the way it should, make sure you follow up with us. All right, so here are those websites that I mentioned. If you would like to know more about the GI Bill Selected Reserve and some of the fine print and the details on it, go to that website, Montgomery GI Bill Selected Reserve. That's a va.gov website. That's also where you will be going to apply for the GI Bill. Lewis has also put both these websites into the chat box. The WAVE user guide. So that's a PDF document that explains how WAVE works and what you need to do and breaks it down step by step. If you have any questions about WAVE, you don't know how to log in, you forgot your login, forgot the password, go to the WAVE user guide. It has the phone number on there and it also directs you to their support site. All right. About to wrap this up. So please, in the interest of yourself and your fellow veterans, service members, and dependent students on campus, please break out your smartphones again, scan this QR code, and take our brief assessment. This helps us to see how well or how well we didn't do on this presentation. Everything from scheduling to knowledge to how polished it was. And we can better it, and we can also find out about topics you'd like to hear in the future. We've covered other topics in the past, such as the National Guard tuition waiver, the post 9/11 GI Bill. We've covered veteran readiness and employment. So things you'd like to see in the future, let us know how we did. This, in the end, ends up serving you all better. Just give a couple more seconds for folks to scan that if they need to. You can also access the link there that Lewis put into the chat. All right, so who are we? As I said, I am Paul Lazaro. I'm the Assistant Director for Veteran Affairs. With me also is Luis Valderrama, in the Office of Veteran Affairs. And then outside of our office, but still part of our team that works with our students on campus, we have in the Office of the Registrar, Ms. Mylene Tenorio. She's an Assistant Director of the Registrar and Supervisor of Transcripts. We have Mr. Daniel Villanueva. He is the Associate Registrar. They are both school certified officials along with myself. We also have Ms. Mariel Ramos Acosta, who also helps out with our enrollment certifications. So you can contact any one of the five of us. As I mentioned, in the link tree, we have contact info in there. You can email all of us. You can email one of us. You can email every other one of us, whichever you prefer. We'll all be able to help you out and get you the answers you need. All right. If anybody has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or unmute and ask them at this time. Right there is our email address, veteranaffairs@newark.rutgers.edu. We're back on campus as of today, 5 days a week, so you can find us in Conklin Hall. I'm in room 213. Lewis is right next door in room 214. You'll also find our student veteran lounge across the hall from us in room 224. So come by and see us. Lounge is yours for the using. We are here to answer your questions. And there is our QR code again to scan. If there aren't any further questions, either verbal or in the chat, I want to thank you for attending, for listening, for watching. And we'll see you next month at our next Sergeant's Time training.